A $450,000 watch, a $700 million jet and a $1.4 billion luxury palace, these are the excessively expensive things Vladimir Putin owns. Let's start with his collection of Italian suits from his favorite brands, Ketone and Brioni, which have a starting price of $10,000. No wonder people call him the man in black. However, due to the cold weather in Russia, sometimes you can't see his watch collection, as it is covered by his $10,000 Loro Piena jacket. $10,000 Loro Piena jacket. This jacket stole the show when he gave a speech about stopping genocide and fighting for universal values. The internet was not pleased. Aside from her fancy clothes, her watch collection is her next most expensive item. After all, why shouldn't it be? He is a world leader after all. That's why he has $1 million watch collection. But perhaps that's a bit ironic considering he officially earns $140,000 a year. One of the most striking timepieces in his collection is the limited edition Blancpain watch, which costs $11,000. Although it is reported that he actually gifted this watch to a factory worker in 2009. Factory worker in 2009. Lucky guy, right? He then gifted another Blancpain watch to a Siberian boy he met on vacation. There's also a video of him throwing a Blancpain watch on wet cement at a construction site in 2010. Sometimes, when he chooses to be more casual, he may wear FP Journe's chronometer blue, which costs around $100,000. That's close to his annual salary. The most incredibly insane watch in his entire collection is the A. Lang & Son Horograph, which costs $470,000. That's 3 to 4 times more than his reported annual income. Despite having the most luxurious watches on his wrist, Putin is known to always be late. He was an hour late for his meeting with Pope Francis at the Vatican, and even his ex-wife, Ludmila Putina, complained that Putin was always an hour late for his first appointments. After getting dressed and buckled into his cars, he chooses to drive any car from his undisclosed car collection. Let's start with the cheapest car, the Lada Vesta sedan, valued at $11,000, the same price as his Blancpain watches. There is nothing special about this green car, it gives off a humble vibe, but that humility disappears as we move through his car collection. Of course, if you see Putin on the streets, he won't be in a Lada, he'll be in his $46,000 Mercedes ML 500, $46,000 Mercedes ML 500, or in his specially made $160,000 Gazelle limousine, or in his $1.2 million Urus limousine. It is also good to see Putin supporting Russian automakers, unlike the rest of the world. Although he is rumored to own more than 700 luxury cars, these are the only publicly known cars in Putin's collection. I was going to add the tractor he received as a gift to this list, but obviously he's not going to be cruising the streets in that, is he? Speaking of gifts, one of the most famous gifts Putin received was a Super Bowl ring from Robert Kraft worth $25,000. Now, if you're wondering how anyone could gift something so personal and precious to Putin, the answer is that he didn't do it. In 2013, Robert Kraft met with President Putin and, according to him, I took the ring out and showed it to Putin, and he put it on and said, I could kill someone with this ring. He then added that, quoting again, I held out my hand and he put it in his pocket and 3 KGB agents came up to him and left. That's right, the president wearing an A. Lang & Son technically stole his Super Bowl ring. Poor guy. Moving on to the subject of yachts, the former KGB agent still has the seas and skies to roam. According to reports, President Putin owns 6 yachts. First, we have his $507 million super yacht named Scheherazade. It looks big and white on the outside, but only those aboard the expensive yacht know that everything is made of gold, from the self-leveling pool table to the toilet paper roll holder and even a tiled dance floor that doubles as a swimming pool. And in case that wasn't enough for good old Putin, he received a $35 million yacht as a gift from oligarch Roman Abramovich, who also owns Chelsea Soccer Club. Friendship with benefits, right? Earlier this year, he was spotted off the coast of Estonia on a 267-foot super yacht called Graceful, which costs $119 million. It used to be called Grateful, but now it's called Kasatka, which means killer whale. It also owns the $22 million, 187-foot Olympia, the $22 million, 177-foot Checker $18 million, and the 151-foot Chalice, which cost $17 million. We don't yet know the price of his 105-foot Niga, but overall, Putin's fleet of yachts is worth at least $680 million. And if the US seizes these yachts, he will simply buy more. And just when you think his love of the sea is over, Putin also owns a mini submarine that looks like a prop from a James Bond movie. Of course, arriving at a shipwreck on a huge $1 million yacht would be bad publicity, so instead he uses this mini submarine near the Crimean Peninsula to view the wreckage. He was supposed to go on this water trip with his Prime Minister, Dmitry Medvedev, but as you can see, he decided to stay on dry land. Oh, and look, there's his $11,000 Blancpain watch. Now, if you think that's luxurious, check out the Flying Kremlin, which, now that I say it out loud, sounds like the name of a Russian superhero. The Flying Kremlin is his private jet, which costs $716 million. In addition to the usual amenities of a luxury jet, it has a king-sized bed and a gym in case you want to get a quick workout before your next meeting. Oh, and it has a gold toilet. Now that you've seen what he has and what he's wearing, it's time to take a look at his most expensive homes. Being elected president means moving into the big house, which is why, back in the day, Russia had its own version of the White House called the Constantine Palace. After Putin moved in, he glamorously renovated and restored the old place. Now, this presidential residence hosts G8 summits and is open to tourists. It is like his summer vacation home, but obviously it is a presidential residence and not Putin's home. That's why it has secret properties. He owns a portfolio of secret properties, and one of his most recent homes is located among the forests of Moscow and is rumored to cost $380 million. Looking at this property from Google Earth, we can see multiple helipads, stables, a soccer field and a pond, stables, a soccer field and a pond. Some of his secret but not so secret properties include Novoogoryovo, the Moscow Kremlin, a remote retreat in Siberia, a vacation home in Vyborg and a lakeside house in St. Petersburg. Not many know about this lakeside house because it was rebuilt after an unfortunate fire in 1996. In an interview about his autobiography, Mr. Putin recalled the incident and shared that, quoting again, "I ran out onto the balcony, climbed over the railing, grabbed the sheets and started to climb down. He did it all while, quoting again, I was completely naked from the banya," which is a Russian sauna. Can you imagine a video of Putin naked? It would make a good viral video. Of all his properties, the one that takes the cake is his Black Sea mansion, also known as Putin's Palace, which costs, brace yourself, $1.3 billion. To give you a little perspective on its size, it's almost 39 times the size of Monaco. As you enter this multi-million-dollar home, you'll see gold, gold and more gold. The ostentatious dining room has enough space to house all of Russia's oligarchs, which is quite a lot. And each chair in the dining room is priced at $10,300. As you proceed to his bedroom, you will find a bed that costs $16,400, while the dressing table is priced at $19,700. $19,700. Then we have the golden recliner, upholstered in purple velvet, which costs $10,600. According to NDTV, this is dining room furniture worth $500,000, a $54,000 bar table, fancy Italian toilet brushes for $850 and toilet paper holders for $1,250. Italian toilet brushes for $850 and toilet paper holders for $1,250. All this for your golden ass. Now, even if you don't want to think about it, I know you have her $140,000 annual income number in mind. The truth is this house is called the biggest bribe in history. There is a documentary called A Palace for Putin, in which they talk about how its construction was financed through corruption and a network of close associates. It also reveals that while Putin may be the one who enjoys this grand mansion, its real owner is billionaire Mr. Arkady Rotenberg, who is also a close personal friend of Putin's from the early days. That documentary has received over 100 million views, and one of them was from Vladimir Putin himself, who called the video of the palace boring. The filmmaker of the documentary, Alexei Navalny, who is Putin's staunchest critic, was arrested and imprisoned for this work, and thousands of civilians came out of their homes to stage the largest protest in Russia. You can understand why billionaire Elon Musk claimed that Putin is significantly richer than he is in an interview with Business Insider. But billionaires like Elon Musk are not so different from Putin. They are also out there buying incredibly expensive things, like Elon Musk and his $1 million submarine, Bill Gates and his $25 million island, or Jeff Bezos and his $42 million watch. If you want to see how billionaires spend their billions, be sure to watch our next video. Thanks for watching.